myself and my two colleagues here are standing together in relation to this issue because it's so important, the provision of an ambulance service in recess Connemara. So tonight, Minister, I think yourself, if we could get we've had confirmation on paper that tender documents are ready to issue in April. Are they ready? Have they issued? And the construction date is July, to be finished within 6 months. In a nutshell, is that what you're going to tell us tonight? And I say that because this has spanned 3 elections with different colleagues. Deputy O'Keefe was very much involved in this, and indeed other colleagues. 3 elections it has spanned. And the people on the ground have worked with us. And in the answer I got here, it says it started in 2020. The campaign started way back in 2014. I've correspondence here going back 7 years in relation to the need for an ambulance service on the ground. And I'm repeating that they persisted over 3 elections to tell us how important it was, presenting the figures, and to get as far as we have is success. However, we need now confirmation. Given the extraordinary delays to date, we need confirmation. I'll stop on time in relation to the dates. Thank you.
John Conley.
Just to concur with my colleague and to welcome the opportunity to raise this again. I'm more recent to the story, but I fully agree with Deputy Connolly in her relaying of the history of the project and the effort that has gone in on behalf of public representatives previously to raise it and to progress it. One anecdote for you, Minister, is that there are 2 ambulances in Clifton, which would be the nearest town to where this base is proposed. And last week at a rugby match, a player suffered an injury, 70 minutes waiting for an ambulance to arrive. Having suffered a dislocated knee, one can only imagine the pain that person went through during that time. But just in terms of the fine detail here, could it be confirmed that the Fire Safety Cert and Disability Access Cert have been applied for and approved? And maybe that will give us some insight. Our understanding was the tender documents were progressing alongside that, but there seems to be some delay. And again, it's kind of it's symptomatic of I suppose how long it takes and how arduous it is to progress a capital project.
Gormagan, talk to Marie.
Gormagan, and look, I concur with my colleagues, and I think it just shows the importance of this issue that spanning 3 different Dáil terms, colleagues from across political parties and independents have come together on this particular issue because it is just so important for the people of Connemara. And we did have a situation where it started to progress, and it has progressed. But Minister, I had been advised by the Minister for Health in a response to a parliamentary question that it would be that it was expected to be delivered in 2025. I've been told at that stage that the preparation of tender documentation is well advanced. It is intended to tender these construction works in Q3 of 2024 and would commence with a 9-month building plan. Look, that's just not where we're at the moment, but we do want to know where we're at. We want to make sure this has progressed. This is something that is just basic needs of a community who have long campaigned for this, and we have heard so many different horror stories of people who have been impacted in so many different ways, but the crux of it comes down to that the people of Connemara need this ambulance space. It is being progressed, but there has been an issue with being able to get the information from the HSE at times, and that's why we had to bring it to the floor of the Dáil. But as long as there's clear communication and we can bring that back, I think that's really a crucial element to this. But let's get this delivered as soon as possible.
Thanks very much, Ceann Comhairle, and I want to thank Deputy Catherine Connolly, Deputy John Connolly and Deputy Bunáit Farrelly for bringing this up. I know how important it is an issue for you, and I suppose I want to thank the deputies for raising this important issue on the provision of an ambulance base at Recess, County Galway. I'm taking this topical issue on behalf of the Minister for Health, Deputy Jennifer Carroll McNeill. As the deputies will be aware, the government has a consistent track record of investment in the National Ambulance Service, significant increase in funding since 2019. Just to preamble, the responses to Deputy Connolly, Catherine Connolly, was it? Did you put it down as true? Are you sharing your time, Deputy?
We have to, with 3 of us. Yeah.
Did the 3 of you put it down?
Yes.
Yeah.
Then I apologise that the script isn't addressed to the 3 of you.
All right. Thank you.
I might be able to correct that. As the deputies are aware, the government has a consistent track record of investment in the National Ambulance Service, with significant increase in funding since 2019. Budget 2025 confirms this government commitment to continued investment in the National Ambulance Service with additional allocation of 8 million for new service development in 2025. This brings the allocation for the National Ambulance in 2025 to 285 million, an increase of 117 million or more than 69% for 2019 allocation. Increased funding in 2025 will provide for up to 180 additional National Ambulance Service staff, including paramedics to support delivery of essential frontline service, facilitating the expansion of alternative care pathways and continuing development of specialist service such as the National Ambulance Service, critical care retrieval service. Current staff provision in the county of Galway stands at 137 whole-time equivalents. In addition, there are 18 active community first responder groups in County Galway. Community first responders are volunteers who are trained to attend certain types of emergency calls in the area when they live or work. Galway also benefits from the emergencies aeromedical service provided by National Ambulance Service in conjunction with the Irish Air Corps from its base in Costoom Barracks at Lone. This service conducted 368 missions in 2024. Galway is always served by a Pathfinder service. Pathfinder is a care pathway that involves the National Ambulance Service and allied health professionals working together to respond and treat all the people in their home, as well as to provide the appropriate support and follow-up care so the patients do not need to be transported to a busy emergency department to receive care. Now, the specific matter you raise. The site that the deputies refer to is Recess Connemara, was previously a health centre and is currently derelict. It is the intention of the HE to refurbish this existing derelict health service to provide standalone ambulance space. The planning permission has been secured and the design team are currently finalising the detailed design, including fire and DAC certificates, with a view to having a Stage 2C report submitted to the HSE Local Estates Office for review in the coming weeks. Approval will then be sought to proceed to issue tender documents. The department is working closely with National and finalising a new strategic plan, which will be formally submitted to the department in due course. I'm going to go back to, again, you've raised a good number of points initially. So I'm a believer in process. So I've given you an update on the process as it stands at the moment. But I want to follow up, obviously, to Minister Carol McNeill, specifically about getting the tender and getting it built. Come back in and I can follow up. I can come back to you once you've made an additional presentation.
Minister, I thank you that you're going to take a hands-on approach. We have 11 paragraphs or 11 sentences and 2 refer to the issue that we've raised. And I'm telling you it's gone back 3 elections, possibly 4, but I don't wish to exaggerate. We have a confirmation from the former Assistant National Director that tender documents were to issue in April. The building was to start in July, be complete by the end of the year. We've got a little tiny bit more information into a Stage 2 report and so on, fire certificates. When will the tender documents issue and when will the building start? And at the very least, that's what the group on the ground, a little respect, after all of their work over 3 elections for an essential service, we need confirmation of that. And as has been said, we were forced to bring this topic in because the targets have slipped so often.
I'm going to talk to John Conley.
I suppose one of the things that concerns me, what's the response, and I concur with Deputy Connolly, of all the content here, it's limited what's relative to the specific issue, but one line there says approval will then be sought to proceed to issue tender documents. That's concerning because, as Deputy Connolly has said, we all had an understanding that not only had that approval happened previously, but that tender documents were prepared and ready to go. So I'd hope that that term could be changed to, rather than approval, to a date for when it will exactly happen. Just one other issue that arises, I suppose, reading the response, is in relation to the Air Corps base in Custom Barracks at Lone. Read yesterday in the newspaper that that is to change, which gives me some concern for the West as well, because we will require a facility like that to service the West of Ireland.
Thank you, Minister, and I really appreciate your response and how genuine you are in the response, because I think the other deputies will agree. When we saw the progress happen was when we raised it as a topical issue a number of years ago with the then Minister Anne Rabbitte, and she took it upon herself to get things moving. So that shows the role that you as a minister can have in relation to this, and let's hope we can progress it as a result of that. Look, there was one thing that, like, I was told by the Minister of Health last July that the Fire Safety Certificate and Disability Access Service will be submitted this week, ending 12th of July, and that the preparation of tender documentation is well advanced. So, like, there's something went wrong there, and look, if we could try and get to the bottom of it, it's needed, and it's needed urgently.
Thanks very much, Count Corla, and thank the three deputies, Deputy Connolly and Deputy Connolly and Deputy Farley. Can I just, so I want to thank you for raising the point. So, like, the update that we've been given is that the planning permission has been secured, which I'd say you already knew. The design team are currently finalising the detailed design, including fire and DLC certificate, with a view to having Stage 2 report submitted to HC Local Estates Review to coming weeks. Approval will be sought to proceed to issue tender documents. The two specific questions you ask at this moment in time are, when will I suppose the third one is, you're being told that the Stage 2C report will be submitted to HC Local Estates Review in the coming weeks. So when will that happen? And following on from that then, Deputy, can you make reference to the approval process? But more particularly then, when will it go out to tender? And then when will it get to a point where you have appointment of the contractor and construction underway? So what I propose to do is to revert to Minister Jennifer Carl-McNeill, who's it falls in under, but more specifically to get those specific points. Like, the process is underway. In terms of your role as TDs for the area and for the region and Galway, you want those specific points referenced. In addition to that, if you'd wish to send in a collective submission to the Minister, to the Department, we can follow up on that as well. So maybe a joint approach. Deputy Connolly, John Connolly, you make reference to the barracks in Athlone. It's something we'll follow up on it as well. If you might drop a note to the Department, to the Minister on it, we can follow up with that as well. So I suppose I just want to be some way constructive and assistance to the Deputy in a practice.